This is my favorite Devi temple, Kadikamba temple. And whenever I'm feeling, when I'm feeling, when I want, almost I try to visit every day in the morning and have darshan over here. And it has three sacred trees. One is this Ficus racemosus, which is one of the keystone species to feed lakhs of creatures actually, because they have long fruiting season and huge number of fruits are produced, and birds, bats, for humans also it's an edible thing, and they're very sacred for Hindus. So this is that Audambara, Ficus racemosus. The other one is this one. This is considered as a representation on earth, physical representation of Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara emerging out of the earth and growing gloriously. This also produces millions of fruits, and every part is very important for inflammatory diseases. That bark is used, they make some special type of rice porridge with using that bark, and also hundreds of uses are there, and it's also keystone species, and it's a must in every Hindu temple. It's an essential tree because Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, all three are living in this. And praying to this one ensures longevity for the family members, getting good husband and a spouse basically, and then having children and to grow the family gloriously. So that is the second tree. The third tree is at the rear end. That is also a very important tree, which I will show now. This is the Caltropis. This is also important for Lord Ganesha's worship. And then Amla there. That is the epitome of Lakshmi and Datri Phala and all. It's a very important herb and sacred also for Hindus. So the third tree is at the rear of the temple, and sacred trees and groves are essential features of Hindu religion and dharmic traditions, that is Jain, Buddhist, Hindu, maybe Sikh also. I'm not that much proficient in that. And they can be as small as a single tree in the middle of the city. In every city, every village and every corner of India, these banyans and sacred trees are there. Center of the city, if you go in Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, any metropolitan city also, right in the middle of the cities and all, they'll be there. This is the other one. The species name I forgot. It's a very rare tree actually. Two of them are there, and they are also hosting many orchids. So that makes it, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trees. And then if you add up all those orchids and all, it will go into some 100 plants and all, because all these bigger trees have lot of orchids and mosses and all kind of other flora occurring on them. So sacred groves can be very small, and even if there are two trees, they'll still have so many orchids and all they'll be supporting, so it can be considered as a agglomeration or conglomeration of flora, because the smaller plants are growing on the bigger ones. And now recently Supreme Court has passed some order, it seems, saying that sacred groves are forests. So I hope in that pretext the state doesn't take over the Hindu sacred groves, and sacred groves run by the state, including temples and all. We have seen how badly they are managed, how corrupt they are, and they are totally incompetent and unfit to look after these sacred groves. So it's an infringement of religious tradition and all, and they can't be secularized. These trees and all, the sacred trees will never exist in a secular state. No amount of propaganda about nature, ecology is going to bring in that kind of dedication and love for the trees and ecology. So better, in my opinion, to leave it as it is, and maybe local communities can be encouraged to protect and save these sacred groves. The bigger ones are stupendous entities, some of them 100 big forests also, and lot of encroachment also has happened of these sacred trees wherever there's a uh, change in the demographic profile and non-Hindus are gathering up in a larger proportion. Sacred trees are no longer sacred and they can be encroached and all. So this is a very sensitive topic, and these are all open air temples, these sacred trees. They serve as repositories of biodiversity and all kind of life forms, and usually have keystone species. And moreover, they're the, because Hinduism has evolved over from prehistoric times, from pre-civilization, that is before domestication of agriculture and all. They are living open air temples and help us to connect with nature and keep in touch with nature, since Hindus and Dharmic civilizations are essentially nature worshipping indigenous religious traditions, and they consider God, trees also as God, animals also as God. Everything, the whole world is considered as the living embodiment of the Supreme